We have been in a fog, and as we've emerged, we see that the world has been pushed to the brink. And so have you. I'm Dr. David Orrs, I'm the Doc of DeFi, and I invite you on a double major education, one of health, one of wealth, and how the two interact. So I'm just right here looking for this. Yes, I've been thinking about this for a while now. If you take a quick look at that in the light, you'll see the rainbow type of coating that it has. So this is known, first of all, the fossil itself is called an ammonite, and the specialized deposit that you see all over it actually brings it into the class of being an ammonite. And this comes from a mine that's about 600 miles away from here. And it is a finite piece of that mine. In other words, it's very difficult to mine out of there. And it is a mine that is one of a kind in the entire world. It is in southern Alberta, and it is going to run out. They say that this particular precious gem is going to run out in about 6 to 8 years. That mine will be done, and there is no other deposit like it in the world. So ammonite is the actual fossilized prehistoric crustacean that gives it its shape. But the specific way in which the chemicals have solidified and transformed over the years into that very rainbow-like appearance makes it an ammonite. And this is one of the newest gemstones recognized in the world in 1981, and it is actually one of the rarest gemstones as well. So what's it worth? Well, as an ammonite, this kind of simple fossil that's just a plain rock, that's actually sought after as well. They're not overly abundant. Something this size might cost you in the hundreds of dollars, but when it transforms into the ammonite deposit, it 20x's its value. So no, it's not as precious as if we had a huge piece of gold this size, or platinum, or a big diamond this size. The value would be very different. But that's all in the story. And who knows what's going to happen once that mine actually is tapped out to this gem. So anyways, why am I talking about this? Because of Bitcoin. So just the same way as this is mined, Bitcoin is mined. But what exactly is Bitcoin? You know, I studied this a while back in my DeFi Academy early times, months ago, and I had to reread the white paper that introduced this concept to the world in 2009. So it is a digital hash of information. It's a calculation. They describe it as something like it's inconveniently difficult calculation to make. It has to run through physical computers, a bank of them, and it has to be verified by other computers. This takes a lot of resources. This takes the actual computer time itself and the computer components, and they're not just ordinary computers, and it takes the electricity to run them. And as you know, even from your laptop, computers heat up, so there is quite a sort of carbon footprint associated with producing these calculations. And these calculations are meant to appear so that we do not need a third party, that this can be an interaction between two peers, person to person, without the need for institutionalizing or centralizing this. Part of this digital hash that defines Bitcoin is also a timestamp. There's a time server associated with it, and it is something that is tied onto the digital hash result from that complex calculation. And it is witnessed by other computers that agree. And every single witness is put in order in a chain, hence the blockchain. So the block is the bank of computers in one particular area. A number of these communicate with each other. They reach an agreed upon consensus for the hash and for the timestamps, and this is all verified through their sort of digital signatures one to the other. So that's basically what this is. If you were asked to describe what a dollar was and what makes that dollar on that piece of cottonized sort of textile or on a polymer or however the banknote is created, what makes that have value, it is difficult for you to really explain that to someone who doesn't assume its value, and because it's been around and part of their lives and culture and generations for generations. So this is the digital version of the explanation of the asset. And because you have to throw resources at creating the validity of a Bitcoin, therefore it is likened to being mined. So a miner will throw resources to try and get this thing out of the ground and bring it into circulation, and this is mined. And Bitcoin is the same thing. To bring a Bitcoin into circulation, it is mined through digital means and calculations and hashes and timestamps and computer consensus, which becomes more and more and more complex as the witness thereof continues, because time marches on. So timestamps, are different as the time marches on. So, like this one, believe it or not, Bitcoin has a finite number. So at this point, there have been about 19 million Bitcoins mined or produced and brought into circulation. And it is known for sure that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Therefore, there is just over 1.9 million Bitcoins left to be created or mined. It takes approximately 10 minutes to do so, and the estimates are, depending on the number of active miners out there, that about 900 Bitcoin are produced daily. So as you can see, the number is going to be finite rather quickly, a bit like this guy right here. So just some sort of nitty-gritty now on the crypto space and what we're getting into. Next time we will talk a little bit about the functionality and what we can do with these assets. All right, we'll catch you next time.